Moreover, the information sought by the subpoenas is wildly disproportionate to the needs of the case and unnecessarily invades the privacy of untold numbers of third parties, including family, friends, business partners, and quite literally any other person with whom any of the targets have communicated with over a period of years.
6 in this lawsuit says the dangerous climate of threats, harassment, and intimidation fueled by the defendant's retaliation campaign has required Ms. Lively to alter her personal and professional life.
The Justin versus Blake fiasco continues to set the internet on fire, with fans eagerly watching each side's next move in this escalating PR battle. Team Blake is scrambling to regain control as damning evidence piles up against her, and one of her latest tactics involves a fellow actress filing a bizarre lawsuit. Initially, public sentiment leaned in Blake's favor, as she was seen as the victim. However, as more receipts surfaced, revealing her less than innocent side, support rapidly shifted toward Justin. His detailed evidence shattered the sympathy she once had, leaving many disillusioned. Even media figures like Megyn Kelly haven't held back, offering blunt commentary on the situation. Now, with Blake seemingly running out of strategies, fans are left wondering, how much worse can this get for her?
And Brian Friedman knows how to fight back against a bully. Trust me. And he started telling everybody Justin Baldoni's side. He told us that Justin Baldoni denied those claims of sexual harassment and only tried to appease Blake Lively because she was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat. He had to bend over backwards just to get her to shut up and complete the film. He told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully.
Megyn Kelly called out Blake's God complex, noting how she referred to herself as KH from Game of Thrones. She highlighted Justin's claims, stating that while Blake might insist she was simply praising her supportive inner circle, it was actually a thinly veiled threat, one that isn't fooling anyone.
And what they showed is that Blake Lively has got a bit of a God complex. She's texting Justin Baldoni about how she sees herself as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, mother of dragons. Did you watch that? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So Khaleesi is stunningly beautiful. She's this effervescent, strong character with temerity and resilience, and she's fierce. She's literally the mother of dragons in Game of Thrones. That's her. That's me. That's Blake. And she says, and I've got the greatest dragons on earth, Ryan Reynolds, and my best friend, who is Taylor Swift, though she's not named or they blacked it out. So she's telling him, I'm mother of dragons, and my dragons will cut a bitch. And my dragons are named Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. So the message is pretty clear.
A behavioral analyst weighed in on Blake's claim that Justin acted inappropriately during a scene that wasn't being audio recorded. However, Justin later released footage, explaining that the entire purpose of the scene was to create the illusion of a close moment between their movie characters. His clarification cast doubt on Blake's accusation, making many question her narrative. As more evidence emerges, the public is left wondering whether her claims hold any weight or if this is just another PR maneuver.
As soon as camera was called out, she's talking to him as Blake, trying to give a directive note. She started that. And he just followed her lead and explained, no, it's okay with the light behind me, it looks good, and so on and so on. Another really interesting thing about that moment is as he explains to her that it's nice for him to be in front of the light, and when he blocks it, he leans in and he gets really close to her ear, and he almost like whispers it to her very softly. And we might look at that and go, why did he say it like that? Why didn't he just tell her? And there's a very good reason for this. They're both very aware of the fact that we're only going to use the visuals of this, not what they're saying. So to get this shot, their body language needs to communicate. Ryle and Lily having this slow dance, but it's okay to be talking about other stuff as long as they could get the visuals across.
Justin wasn't acting inappropriately. He was simply doing his job. While the audio was casual, the scene's visuals were meant for the movie. His actions aligned with the script, further discrediting Blake's claim and raising doubts about her accusations.
This is very common in Hollywood productions. I can't tell you how often I filmed projects either as a consultant or in front of the camera, and when we were filming something that we knew only the visuals matter, we need to communicate something visually, we're talking about completely unrelated stuff, as long as we know the visuals get across. So in this case, he's following her lead. She started talking about, they're dancing. She started talking about where they should stand, and he just responded while still giving the camera the visuals that they need for this Lily and Ryle slowdown.
He remained impartial, noting that Blake didn't seem entirely comfortable, so she might have had a point. However, others argued that this highlighted the importance of an intimacy coordinator, something she actually refused, making her claims even more questionable in hindsight.
Here it's a little tense. We're also seeing on her face this little bit of a faint smile, but there is tightness around the nose and around the mouth, and it doesn't look like a super relaxed smile. And finally, we do see that she is a little leaned back, and at first, he's a little more leaned towards her. But the moment he notices this kind of bit of a disengagement, notice what he does. He also disengages. So what we're seeing here is a dance, pun intended, where she's saying something, he's leaning in to whisper in her ear, she's backing up, he's backing up in response.
Things took a turn when Ryan Reynolds joked about the lawsuit on SNL, leaving many confused. Who jokes if their wife was truly harassed? Making it worse, the moment wasn't even scripted, raising questions about how seriously he actually takes Blake's claims.
Now, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have been in the news a lot, and Ryan Reynolds, we want to know, was that an improv or was it scripted, his little piece he did?
That was actually, he had a different line in rehearsal, and he pitched that to replace it. So that was his idea to do it.
It was Ryan's idea. I just don't know. I feel like we deserve something. We deserve an award for just sniffing that out. Like, he is a true, thoroughbred narcissist.
Team Blake filed a subpoena requesting access to Justin Baldoni's phone messages, hoping to uncover evidence to support their claims. This move suggests they're scrambling for proof, as public support continues shifting in Justin's favor amid the unfolding controversy.
Earlier this week, the Lively parties issued subpoenas to cellular providers AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, seeking, quote, all documents concerning ingoing and ongoing calls or text messages related to phone number, then it's blocked out, belonging to each of the individual Wayfarer parties, some of their employees, and various non-party individuals, including but not limited to call logs, text logs, data logs, and cell site location information. The subpoenas seek such information over a period of multiple years, in most cases spanning from December 1st, 2022 to the present. It is hard to overstate how broad, invasive, and atypical these subpoenas truly are. This is civil litigation, not a criminal prosecution, and the Lively parties are not the FBI. Yet the subpoenas seek not only the complete call and text history of each of the targets over a period of several years, no matter the sender, recipient, or subject matter, but also over the same period, real-time location information and data logs reflecting, among other things, web browsing history. This would include, of course, materials protected from disclosure by a laundry list of statutes and privileges.
With Blake's team filing an amended complaint, many expected groundbreaking evidence, but there wasn't any. Instead, they appeared to take Justin's past comments out of context, attempting to paint a narrative that he has a history of being unfair or inappropriate with the women in his life. This only fueled more skepticism about their case.
In public, Mr. Baldoni gave the appearance of taking responsibility for the fact that he had, quote, unconsciously been hurting and silencing women in his life, and implored men to be man enough to, quote, shut the hell up and listen to women. He claimed that he wanted to end toxic masculinity, acknowledging his own toxic behavior by admitting that, quote, there is a woman or two that I in some way made uncomfortable by saying something or doing something that was chauvinistic or sexist. There is 1,000,000% probability that that exists.
Candace Owens called out Blake's team for inserting unrelated dialogue into a legal document, noting that it had virtually nothing to do with the actual case. This move only added to the growing doubts surrounding their claims and legal strategy.
I've had to take a real honest look at the ways that I've unconsciously been hurting the women in my life. And it's ugly. My wife told me that I had been acting in a certain way that hurt her and not correcting it. Basically, sometimes when she would go to speak, at home or in public, I would just cut her off mid-sentence and finish her thought for her. It's awful. The worst part was that I was completely unaware when I was doing it. It was unconscious. So here I am doing my part, trying to be a feminist, amplifying the voices of women around the world, and yet at home, I am using my louder voice to silence the woman I love the most. So I had to ask myself a tough question. Am I man enough to just shut the hell up and listen?
Candace Owens also pointed out how the complaint twisted Justin's words, including a clip where he spoke about holding men accountable, as if he were admitting to personal mistakes. However, the clip was actually from an interview where he discussed his character in It Ends With Us. The blatant misrepresentation only fueled skepticism about Blake's case, with many seeing it as an attempt to manipulate public perception rather than present real evidence. Critics argue this weakens their credibility even further.
What do you want men to take away from this film?
I want men, first of all, I want men to stop asking the question, why do women stay?
Yeah.
Right? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable. And in this particular film, I want men to go to the theater and in some way see a version of themselves. You have two very different characters. Both of them, in Atlas and Ryle, have had past trauma. One handles it very different than the other. Mm. And my other hope is that the men who have not done the work, to heal, if they see bits of themselves in Ryle, have a chance to step back and say, you know what, I don't want to blow up my life. I don't want to hurt the person I love the most. I need to get help. I need to feel all these things that I've buried so deep down so that it doesn't explode on somebody that I love. And hopefully that can create some compassion and empathy and make the world a safer place.
Candace Owens criticized the new document's manipulative language, claiming Blake is trying to justify why no one else is publicly supporting her. Owens argued that instead of providing real evidence, Blake's team is focusing on controlling the narrative to save face.
6 in this lawsuit says the dangerous climate of threats, harassment, and intimidation fueled by the defendant's retaliation campaign has required Ms. Lively to alter her personal and professional life and to take steps to protect innocent bystanders rather than exposing them to further harm. So she's now using this to explain away why no one's joining in on her lawsuit. Okay, they're setting that up right at the beginning. Essentially, no one's going to join in, but just so you know, this is to protect them. I'm going to explain to you why that's absolutely BS. It goes on and reads, thus, this amended complaint does not refer to certain witnesses by name, nor does it provide screenshots of their text messages. Importantly, however, these witnesses have given Ms. Lively permission to share the substance of their communications in this amended complaint as contained herein, and they will testify and produce responsive documents in the discovery process. Okay, let's just pause to make sure everybody understands what's happening here because they think we are so stupid, okay? I'm not going to include them in here because I'm going to protect them. But down the line, I'm going to subpoena them and force them against their will, which means that they are not willing participants and that you don't have their support, because the reality is you can compel them to testify, okay?
Many have noted that Blake's lawsuit seems like an attempt to gaslight the public into siding with her. Now, she's bringing up another actress's complaint against Justin, seemingly as a last-ditch effort to add credibility to her shaky claims.
Bossy Blake said that another actress had filed a complaint, making it seem that it was about Baldoni. However, that actress was Jenny Slate, and according to the Hollywood Reporter, it had nothing to do with Justin Baldoni. Her complaint was against his producing partner, Jamie Heath. I'm going to read this briefly because the wording matters. Quote, it stemmed from an interaction with Heath about the apartment Slate had rented in New York City, where It Ends With Us was shooting. Slate, who has a toddler, told him, his producing partner, she wasn't thrilled with the space she had rented, but that moving wasn't an option because she didn't want to lose the sizable security deposit, around $15,000. Heath, informed Slate that Wayfarer, his production company, would reimburse her for the lost security deposit so she could find better accommodations. But apparently, he made the offer using language that made Slate uncomfortable. Sources say he focused intensely on the sanctity of motherhood and Slate's role as a mother.
Except she hadn't. She never even filed a complaint against Justin's producing partner, as was initially reported. The Hollywood Reporter, which first covered the story, had to update its information 3 separate times, further exposing the misleading nature of Blake's lawsuit.
They said that Slate, quote, filed a complaint to the film's distributor, Sony, about the incident. Turns out she did not. The Hollywood Reporter amended their article online and changed the wording from, she filed a complaint to the film's distributor, Sony, about the incident, and then it was changed to, quote, word got back to Sony, the film's distributor. According to sources, Sony then informed Wayfarer about it. And literally today, the Hollywood Reporter amended the article one more time, and the wording was changed yet again. It now reads, and I literally a moment ago went and checked, as of this second that I'm uploading the video, it reads, quote, according to sources, Sony became aware of Slate's concerns and informed Wayfarer about them.
The Hollywood Reporter amended the article once again, changing the wording yet another time. I just checked moments ago, and as of this very second while uploading this video, it now states, according to sources, Sony became aware of Slate's concerns and informed Wayfarer about them. Interestingly, the Hollywood Reporter claimed they had to update the article due to a technical glitch that had caused an earlier version to be uploaded. But was that really the truth? Many are now questioning whether this was an honest mistake or if there's something deeper at play in this unfolding controversy.
You know what really happened here? First, the truth was exposed. Meaning, the Hollywood Reporter initially shared that Jenny Slate filed a complaint. They were given bad information. They then changed that on their website, and then they changed it yet again. But the changing is not a good look for the hair care professional. This, that we now know, weakens her case because Jenny Slate did not file a complaint either against Baldoni or his producing partner. And the Basement Banisher is trying to make it seem like there were multiple reported incidents and complaints of inappropriate behavior with not just her, but with other cast members.
Overall, Team Blake's case has been filled with inconsistencies, making their claims seem shaky. Meanwhile, Team Justin has presented a clearer, more structured timeline, strengthening their position and making it easier for the public to follow the real story.
She puts in bold, none of the requested protections, her 17 points that she wanted, were tied in any way to Ms. Lively's creative input in the film. And they were made months before any discussions regarding the cut of the film. Oh, so you're saying you made the allegations first, and then you tried to make input and change the direction of the film. Are you saying that the chicken had to come before the egg? Yes, sweetie, the chicken had to come before the egg. Obviously, it was because you made these demands and 17 points, which made no sense, and which Brian Freeman went through and thoroughly debunked these points. We've read the messages, sweetheart, okay? We know you said no to the intimacy coordinator. We know that it made no sense that you were then saying there must be an intimacy coordinator on set at all times. And so, yes, first, you're going to make the sexual harassment threat, and then you're going to go, as you guys did, and they proved in the background, I want this, I want that. If I don't get what I want, I'm not going to show up. He has to be put into the basement.
As things worsen for Team Blake, she's now pushing for a stronger protective order than the one already granted, allegedly to salvage what's left of her reputation. The court of public opinion, however, believes the real reason is damage, control. Many are convinced that if her texts become public, they'll expose more inconsistencies, ultimately leading to her downfall rather than Justin's.
Depositions and discovery are to come, and Taylor Swift. And others, but Taylor Swift. Seems that her former bestie is really worried about, let's say, text messages between her and the global pop superstar getting out there. So, as part of the Woody Allen apologist's request for additional protections, she and her legal team are asking for an attorney's eyes only category.
Of course, she insists the stronger protective order is to safeguard her family, but many believe it's purely damage control.
The A-lister, in her own mind, insists that the court has good cause to adopt the proposed extra protective order, explaining, quote, as detailed in Miss Lively's amended complaint, Miss Lively, her family, and other members of the cast, various fact witnesses, and individuals that have spoken out publicly in support of Miss Lively have received violent, profane, sexist, and threatening communications.
Blake's publicist is now attempting to distance themselves from the controversy, claiming they had no involvement in the situation, likely a move to escape any potential fallout as the case continues to unravel.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' publicist is asking to be dropped from Justin Baldoni's lawsuit. Weeks after Justin filed a defamation complaint against his It Ends With Us co-star Blake and her husband Ryan in response to her sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit against him and named their publicist Leslie Sloan as a co-defendant, the Vision PR owner filed a motion on February 20th to dismiss his countersuit.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' publicist is now seeking to be removed from Justin Baldoni's lawsuit. This comes weeks after Justin filed a defamation complaint against his It Ends With Us co-star Blake and her husband, Ryan, in response to her sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit against him. Their publicist, Leslie Sloan, was named as a co-defendant, but on February 20th, the Vision PR owner officially filed a motion to dismiss Justin's countersuit, seemingly trying to avoid further entanglement. How will this all play out? And who will come out on top in this intense PR and court battle? Only time will tell. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the biggest stories shaping entertainment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one with more updates, drama, and behind-the-scenes insights.